Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, you bad motherfuckers. Share us on YouTube, subscribe on Instagram, and follow us on fucking Spotify, baby. Enjoy the show. Share and subscribe. What's up, you bad bitches? Definitely gonna get on copyright with this motherfucker. Here with the one, the only, Hector.
Funny but foul. Back at it again.
Yes.
One more time.
One more fucking time, baby. One more time, daddy. What's going on, man?
It's been an interesting week, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Had some shit wrapped up.
Yeah.
It's been on my mind for a couple of weeks. I mentioned it in the last podcast, but yeah, got a place.
Got a fucking place.
Got a place, my guy. Yeah.
Do you feel like your testosterone has risen since you've came closer to yours truly? You know what I'm saying?
No.
I think personally,
when I physically do, yes.
Yeah.
So in a couple months' time when I'm moving here, all of a sudden I'm gonna start feeling a bit more.
You're gonna be like, yo, Armand, I woke up this morning with the most redonkulous fucking boner, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm gonna be like, dog,
it's in the water.
Longitude,
it's
man.
in the water here.
Yeah, it's in the water, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad, man. I'm happy, that you came up here, and maybe when everything opens up. So speaking of opening up, you told me one thing, right? You told me restaurants, right? What's the deal?
So there have been rumors that because the original restaurant restrictions were set to expire on the Monday,
right?
People were speculating that they were going to be opened up, especially given the fact that our case numbers have been going down week by week, day by day. It's been on a good track the last little while.
Right.
And so I follow a reporter on Twitter.
What's his motherfucker's name?
Richard Zussman.
Shout out
to
Richard
the
Zussman.
Z-Man. The Z-Man's the guy. This guy, you would like him too, man. This guy is just straight facts.
Is he like bitches?
No.
Oh.
Other than
that, we're
I mean,
like
he's straight facts.
Okay.
He's no bullshit is what I really like about him. So I think he lives in Victoria because that's what he does. He'll do the correspondence, shit. But
what a savage. You got to be a savage to live in Victoria. Let me just cut in between what you're saying.
Sure.
Listen, Victoria is 2 streets, bro. Let's be honest here. All right?
But if you're political correspondent, it makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. What's in Victoria again? Remind me.
Our parliament.
Yeah, our bullshit ass parliaments in Victoria.
Jesus.
And we do absolutely nothing in there. All right.
It's okay, man.
Let's be honest.
They take our tax money and then they just redistribute it however they see fit. Christ.
Crooks.
Anyways, this guy, because he's also trusted, he will be able to ask questions that sometimes other reporters would ask and politicians wouldn't respond to, right? Because he's been around long enough.
Yeah.
And so there were rumors, and he kind of not confirmed, but it was kind of like an off-record thing that John Horgan was going to lift restrictions on Tuesday.
Right.
And one of the ones that everyone was talking about was the restaurant restrictions because they were already set to expire on the Monday. So the only way to continue it would have been to basically put them on again the next day.
Right.
So that was my first little thing. I'm like, okay, it seems like it's going to open. And then I saw 2 interesting things on Instagram. 2 restaurants that I follow.
You follow restaurants, motherfucker?
Yeah, because sometimes they got good deals and shit. I don't know.
God damn it.
It's like supporting local business, man. Come on. I don't support fucking Earl's.
Okay.
But I'll support
fair.
Amelia Finati Pizzeria.
Amelia Finati, shout
Amelia
out to
Finati,
you.
right?
And
And
then
then,
you got a hairy pussy, but it's all good.
And then the Red Accordion in Vancouver. So anyways, what I saw on Instagram was both of these restaurants just had posts today hiring.
Instagram.
Yeah, on hire. They just put it there we are now hiring back staff and front staff. This is what I found really interesting.
Get some sexy ladies in there.
Front of the house staff, especially for the one in Vancouver.
Yeah, baby.
And I don't remember. I'd have to check it really quick on
High
Instagram.
skirts and Brazilian
But
waxes.
I think I even saw shut the fuck up. I saw wording on their post saying that because of the restrictions coming up, they're going to be hiring for a busy season.
Busy season,
So-
as in they're slinging
Oh,
that
100%.
cockamammatis.
Absolutely, right? And so, given all of this, I think that we're going to be in for a very interesting Tuesday. And the other reason that I think this is happening for real is because
Nobody's ever said interesting Tuesday. I never.
Well, it's a Tuesday. Well, like what the fuck? Normally, like shit happens on like a Monday, we have Monday off.
Anal happens on Tuesdays, my guy.
It's a holiday.
Yeah.
So that's why there's gonna be no press. I mean, no one's working, especially politicians. They don't fucking work on
they don't
holidays.
work either way.
Yeah, but even worse on the holidays. So I think what was said was that normally they would have announced this on the Monday or even the Friday, but because of the long weekend, they don't want to have any big announcement. People just go fucking blaze all tits to the gills.
Shout out to Blazing,
right?
Fucking right.
But
yeah.
I think it's going to be a really big announcement on Tuesday in a positive way.
I fucking hope so, bro. Because you know what, man? China was down for 3 months, and they motherfucking caused this shit. Them in America. Europe was down for 3 months, lockdown. Now they're fucking almost normal. America was down for a 6-month lockdown, and I think now they're starting to go normal. And some of the fucking states are already fucking normal.
California is going full normal on June the 15th. I saw that today actually as well. They're going to lift all corona-related mandates from a state level on the 15th. Yeah. So that still leaves power to institutions to do what they want. So like if you as a store want to keep, you're fine. They're not going to tell you to not do anything. But from a state level, they're removing all social distancing, all mask mandates, everything on the 15th. They're going full open, just like Las Vegas will be very soon as well.
One problem I have with it going open is that I go to school.
Yeah.
And I got to deal with my employer saying that I go a little bit early so I can have a 2-hour lunch so I can go to class.
Yeah.
Now, that's no problem. But let's say I got to go to the university physically, that's a problem.
I think, and this is what I'm really curious to see, because I think we're headed for an extremely interesting next 6 months, because I remember last podcast you predicted that you're thinking like it's gonna be till 2023, and I'm like, no, I think like 2022, and it seems like that's probably gonna be the case. But what's also gonna be interesting is that now, if we assume that things are headed on a good path, and we're going to start, reopening and then opening more gradually over time, how is everything else that people have been talking about going to react? How are employers going to act when it comes to hiring policies about remote work and, working from home and all that? How are educational institutions going to react when it comes to students wanting to study remotely? Like, how is all of that going to play out? I'm really interested to see how that's going to happen in the next 6 months.
I think if we're going to do it equally, there's going to be two sides to every situation. There's going to be parents that want their kids out of the house. Yeah. And there's going to be teachers that are going to be like, well, fuck you. I'd rather stay at home, blah, blah, this and this. There's going to be a lot of pushback. And then as far as restaurants and stuff and employers, I think they just want to open shit up. Yeah. Considering from a guy who works for a guy who has a private business, he wants to open everything back up. He hates this shit. He hates masks. He hates all that shit. Now, how that's going to go across, corporations and whatnot, really hard to say with that shit. Yeah. But I guarantee you it's going to be like when you move up the corporate ladder, I think it's going to be very heavily mandated as far as that shit versus like a private restaurant or a thing. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is that they should make it in a way where for the next year to 2 years that universities stay voluntarily online, because some people don't want that shit. Yours truly.
Well, it's interesting because there has always been distance learning available.
Not everywhere.
But I'm not talking about
this stuff.
Not full time. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm saying like universities have had the capacity to do distance learning because they've always offered it. So BCIT has had distance learning since fucking like a decade ago. Yeah. But generally, it's only been for courses
courses.
Like, well, not only that, but like part-time courses or courses that can't be done in person, whatever, because they're offering it at like weird times.
My argument against that is this: if you're doing trades, well, fuck, man, you got to be there. Yep. But if you're doing fucking comp-sci, why the fuck am I there? I get a better fucking view from my house when I'm looking at 250-inch TVs. It's better. Or if I'm looking at a laptop and I'm fucking trying to see what you're trying to do, it's better, actually. Like, I would actually make the argument. Initially, I thought it'd be worse because, you have a teacher breathing down your neck. But it's actually better. 1, for cheating. 2, for fucking, for actual learning,
Don't say that out loud. You fucking...
Listen. Who cares? If
Publishing
you want to
this.
sue me, suck my dick.
Well, I think the other quick point I was going to add
Yeah.
to distance learning is that I actually forgot that up until now, distance learning has always been self-directed courses, essentially.
yeah.
Like whenever you took a distance class or an online class, you were just doing it at your own pace. You were given all the material and then you study and you do it however you want.
Yeah, there's asynchronous and there's synchronous.
Versus like this, what we're doing now, where it's like you're doing it online, but
yeah.
you have to basically be in person by being on video and being in like a conference
Right.
kind of situation. So
Right.
that's gonna be interesting. Like, will they keep doing that, or are they just gonna go back to what they used to do with distance learning, where it's like basically whatever, here's the material and do it how you want?
Hard to say.
Hard to
say. But yeah, I think those are good facts. Another thing that went down this week, man. What went down this week? Fucking Bitcoin. Elon pulled the
Holy
fuck out, and everybody started tripping. It went from what, 79 grand to 44 today?
To,
what
like,
the fuck?
Dude, it is crazy. I am personally no longer invested in cryptocurrency. I was, but I haven't been for a long time now. So before this like so-called crash. But it's interesting talking to people about this because cryptocurrency investing, especially in this year, has been very heavily short-term based. A lot of people that have gotten into crypto this year have done it from a short-term perspective. Like they're not familiar with what investing is in this and like the traditional sense.
No, because
right?
it's got to a place of popularity and
Yes.
following dudes that are like, Elon bought in, so it went up, right?
Yeah.
So
But what I'm saying, so like for the first time investors, they're basically taking it like, oh, I can quickly flip my money in like a week or 2 weeks.
suck my
So I'm
dick.
just gonna get in now, and I'll get in later when it goes high. Like they're not really thinking
They're
of
not
investing
thinking
in
long
the
term.
They're not thinking not only long term, but they're not thinking of investing in the traditional sense where they're like, I'm going to think about where I'm placing my money because it makes sense for me and I believe in what the thing is, so I'll do it that way. Or like the other reason where it's like, I want to make money, so I'm going to look at, like they start doing more, you know what I mean? Like they just get more informed. People nowadays, especially with cryptocurrency, see it as a quick way to make a buck.
Yeah.
It's this whole like instant gratification that we have with social media where it's like, I want my shit and I want it now.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are very flaky when it comes to this.
Super.
And it's really bit them in the ass because being flaky with cryptocurrency
No dice.
can hurt you. It
Or
can help you, but it can
help you.
fuck
It can really
you
fuck you
up. And it's been interesting talking to different friends about this because I have some that have been in crypto for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the long time ones are basically just like, dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, it's no big deal.
Because if you bought it 15 years ago,
Yeah,
you're
like, it's
still
fine.
laughing.
And what's interesting, I have one friend who I don't know if he's like lying to me at this point, but he's been having like no stress throughout this whole thing. Because every time I come to him, like, yo, bro, it's like, because I'm just having fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, yo, like fucking crashed. And then he's like, nah, man, I made money today. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, I bought it when it dipped and I sold it when so he's just like playing with that.
I think he's lying a little bit because it's an ego thing and we're all men. We know how that works.
Yeah.
But I think that ego goes to our next subject, right? Our
Which
next
is?
subject is, remember when Trump was trying to be president?
What do you mean when he was president?
No, when he was trying to be president.
Okay, when he was
like
campaigning.
initially,
Yeah.
Campaigning, all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
baloney bullshit, raising money. He was talking about all this shit. He was trying to get a niche fucking category of, rednecks and fucking white trash
Hell
people.
yeah.
All that yeehaw fucking incest shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was saying, oh yeah, we're going to build a border around the fucking thing. And he was saying all this stuff, which it's funny because this goes towards what every fucking politician say. Every fucking politician says some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Some redonkulous shit that they'll never get done, and they make it a promise that they're gonna get this done,
Sure.
and they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it with such advocacy where they're like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna do this, and it's just the only thing I'm gonna do in my life, and this is for sure gonna get done, and this and this and
Yeah,
this," and then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, "Bitch, that never even came up from the fucking ground.
Sure.
That was still, it's a root idea." But it's never gonna happen. Think about how many Mexicans you have and how that you're gonna do that. Your
We're talking
Mexicans
about the
run
wall.
your economy.
We're talking
man.
about the walls we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and
It's all
I
my
want you to I want you to tell me about this. Like when you heard that, did you think of it as a possibility?
Not even a fucking
And
slightest
the reason
amount.
I asked you is because you are Latin.
I am Hispanic, yes.
Yes,
Latino,
so-
Hispanic, whatever you want to call it.
So Latina maybe on certain days and Latino on other days. But yeah, so you thought absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But the thing is, with me, I basically had that idea of absolutely not with everything that he did. So when he was campaigning, I thought there's absolutely no way he's going to become president. And then when he was president, I'm like, there's that. So I was basically just denying him and his whole fucking ideas since the beginning and throughout his presidency. So everything that he did, I basically was like, there's no way this is going to happen. So after he got elected, I'm like, there's no way he's going to make the wall happen. There's no way he's going to actually do this. So I actually basically never believed anything that he ever said.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that he was actually president.
Yeah.
Because I was so certain that there was no fucking chance he was going to be elected. And then when he did, I had to like reconcile with that. I'm like, wow, it actually happened.
Yeah. I think one thing, just going back to the previous topic, just popped in my mind is like, have you worked on your game recently?
You know, like dating game?
Yeah, because like, you know, I've been active, but have you?
Yeah.
Here and there?
Yeah.
But do you think you're kind of crisp, or do you think you're kind of like Ashy Larry type of thing? You know what I'm saying? Are you like you need to get it lotionized? Like
I think it needs work because it needs more practice. It needs exposure is what it needs.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you know, you're not a type of guy to wear fucking you're the type of guy to wear sunscreen all the time. So I don't think you're you're getting enough exposure to that shit.
Sure.
But you know what's funny? I think there's gonna be a lot of time where guys like me that were active throughout.
Sure.
We're gonna find justice in our hard work.
Okay,
You
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like these girls, right? They haven't heard it yet. They've been away from it, especially in Vancouver, right? They haven't really been around it. You know, we've had the longest fucking lockdown. You could even say the longest in the world, possibly. I don't know where you know how Brazil and stuff is doing and stuff, but I think as far as our numbers, we've had pretty savage lockdown. And going into it, like what? Just off top of your fucking head, all right? You go to a fucking grocery store, okay?
Yeah.
Or wherever. Like, where do you go on a weekly basis? Give me 2 places you go on a weekly basis.
Right now, or like
just like when, like, let's say the restaurants open up and like restrictions kind of go down. There's some restrictions left, but what's like the top 2 places you go? You see girls, like as far as seeing girls and approaching girls. As of right now, what are the 2 places you go?
Right now, my routine is basically work, grocery store, fucking gas station.
Right.
And then sometimes actually I have actually done it like outdoor dining.
Okay.
So like meet up with like some coworkers.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Beautiful. That's a fucking beautiful fucking technique right there.
Yeah.
The only thing you're missing is a little bit of gym, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So, out of these places, what have you seen that's most likely that you've seen girls that you can approach?
Probably the breweries.
Breweries.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I firmly believe this. I'm not a big drinker. My sister is, and she always invites me to go with her friends and stuff.
Breweries,
She's got a couple of cute friends.
Yeah.
But I'm just not that yeast drinker, man. I can't deal with those IPAs, man. I start drinking too many and burping and farting and stuff, and it's no dice. Because me personally, I'm like Shrek. I don't leave him inside. I keep him out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's you be spitting game and like, you know, background music's on, and then suddenly they switch songs, and you just hear Agbashlu's fucking ripping ass. But what would you say? Like, you see a hot chick, right? You told me your type, right? Your type isn't a fairly. It's not looks, because you told me you're into brown chicks, whatever. So, what would be your approach? Like, you go to a brewery, right? You're sitting with your homies, your homettes, or whatever the fuck, your coworkers.
My best approach has always been, I think it always will be, is the group approach. So whether you're in a big or a small group, it's taking that group and trying to start interacting with another group.
Yeah.
And then from there, then like break off. So that's always been my thing, is that like group to group, because it's easier to approach in that sense. It's less threatening.
MC squared, baby.
Right. It's less threatening, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like,
you come with a few friends.
If a girl, and both ways, right? Because like, let's say if it's a couple
they got
girls,
trust.
Yeah, a couple girls talking across the table.
Yep.
If you just show up, like you yourself, just start talking, it's weird because you're just a stranger.
Depends.
No, I know. What I'm saying is
generally, yeah.
On both ways, it's tough because for you're alone trying to approach 2 strange girls. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, two girls are doing the thing, and then some strange dude. I don't mean strange like weird. I mean just strange as like they don't know you.
They
right?
don't know
unfamiliar,
you. Yep.
Right?
Unfamiliar.
Some unfamiliar guy just comes up. Bit of a harder pill to swallow because they're like, what is this guy doing? What does he want? And then once you start doing whatever, then fair enough. But it's a lot easier to break that awkwardness with group to group. Yeah. Because then it's like you can talk different things are going on.
Fair.
There's a lot more distractions happening, and then from there, if you've had your eye on this girl the whole time, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, now our groups are acquainted. It's almost like we're acquainted, but we haven't actually. Now let's you and I start talking for a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Bow, chicka, bow,
that's always been my
wow.
thing, is to, if I wanted to get to know a person, I'll always be with them and be like, yo, let's together.
I got a question. Now, that's all fine and dandy.
Sure.
But sometimes you got to lone wolf it.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
That's tough.
Sometimes you got to go old school. You got to go real old school. You got to just go up to her, and you got to have no fear. You got to have no fear in your heart. You got to have no fear in your soul. You got to leave it all there in the premises, and you got to get out there like James fucking Bond. Okay? In that case, what are the words that you tell this girl? You have to approach her. You got to just get up and walk to her and be
doing
like,
some
what's
PUA shit right now?
up? Yeah.
The fuck is this, man?
Yeah, this is some JOI shit.
It's ridiculous.
Jerk
man.
off instructions, baby.
stupid.
Tell me a line you would rap, right? I mean, you don't have to give me.
I don't do openers.
Okay, but
I don't do openers.
But you just, if you had to, like,
no, but I
50
don't.
mil,
I wouldn't.
Okay, I know that. But this case is a win and win, because if you win, let's say you get 50 mil. If you right.
Okay.
And if you don't win, you still tried to win.
Sure.
So it's a win.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're just looking at it positively, it's a win-win. Okay. So that being said,
Okay,
you have to.
Give me a situation. Just okay.
Okay.
If we're gonna do this shit, give me a full situation.
Have you been to Port Moody Brewers Row?
Yeah, I've been to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you go to Parkside, right?
Okay.
And you order something, and you're sitting there.
We're assuming like normal shit, right?
Normal shit.
Where I can
normal
actually. So like, okay, well.
Yeah, no
we're
Corona.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
Corona.
no Corona. Okay.
This
so,
is post-Corona.
so I walk up to.
You walk up to some girl, you see her, her
No,
friend.
no.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So you get something, right? You go up to the table.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah.
You get something, and you're walking back, and you see a cute girl and her friend. They're sitting by each other, just two people, and you're with three guys, and like a girl or whatever the fuck, doesn't matter.
So I'm
You
with my
see her-
boys, and
yeah,
I see two girls.
yeah. You see her friend get up and walk towards you, past you to the bathroom. You're like, this is my chance.
This is the window.
This is the window, boy. I am going in.
Yeah.
Now, you take a fucking L of your hand, you cross it into the fucking thing, you slide in.
Sure.
What do you say? What do you say? I could get you waiting, because I can start describing this stuff. She's got origami fucking around her. She's got,
give me
she's
something.
got
Just describe this girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
This girl is your classic, not platinum blonde, natural blonde.
Okay.
Okay. You look at her, you're like, okay, my mom wouldn't hate this girl. She's not fake. She's got some nude lipstick.
Yeah.
She's got some foundation, but nothing too crazy. Right? She's got a conservative fucking clothing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? She probably votes. Okay? She probably votes.
Okay.
She pays her taxes. She's here. There's no sugar daddy in sight. She's not wearing no Louis Vuitton stuff. She's
Yeah.
wearing like hemp clothing, all natural. But you know for a fact that she does shave her pussy.
Does she look more
doesn't-
liberal or conservative?
That's the thing you can't guess, because that's the thing that you have to take a fucking.
Off of her clothes, what am I
Off
guessing?
of her clothes?
I'm guessing conservative?
I think she would be walking the line. I think as far as like people's sexuality and acceptance, she's probably more liberal because she's younger. But I think as far as old school mentality, she probably had a grandpa that smacked her in the ass and told her she's fucking chump change too.
Because I'm hoping to open with a Trump line. Like, hey, listen, don't you just think we should totally adopt Trump mentality?
I thought you would gonna be like walk in there with fucking Barack Obama. Yes, we can. You're gonna just slide in. Hey, babe. Yes, we can. And just going that way. You want to hear what I gotta say? And
What do
then
you got?
can say,
Yeah, sure.
All right. I would go software.
Really?
I would go software. I'd be like, I'd say some stupid shit like this. I'd say like, let's see what I would say. I'd say, damn girl, did you sit on the F5 key? And she'd be like, why? Like, that ass is hella refreshing.
So stupid.
I would say some shit like that, and she'd probably be like laughing or something.
Yeah.
I'd be like, listen, man, it's not like that. You know, my dick game's probably better than my fucking mouth, but you know,
Sure.
I'm willing to try. And I would go into like being a hard worker and being an immigrant.
Transition to there.
Yeah, transition, you know, do a double crossover, you know,
Sure.
drive it to the basket.
Sure.
And eventually, you know, you get in there. And as her friend's coming back, I would get out, be like, be like, hey, nice to meet you. Let me get your number. I don't want to be too,
Yeah, sure.
So I think there's a time, because if you were there too long, she's got too much material to judge you on.
And it also starts getting like I don't want to say you're overstaying your welcome, but you
could be very easily.
You have that beginning. No, it is that, but I think I'll describe it more of like you have that beginning where everything about you is fresh. Everything. Because it's the first time they met you. So everything you say is like the first time.
You got to keep it crisp and get out.
Exactly. Right? It's because you're going to run out of like for yourself fresh things to say. But then you're also going to get to a point where it's going to start feeling a bit awkward. Like you have overextended your stay. Like, okay, what are you doing here now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's both good. The only thing I could say to anybody else out there is, listen, you got to shoot your shot. Shoot. Sometimes you Ray Allen it and you got no spin and you get an air ball. The other times you're in the heat and you're Ray Allen and you just get mad swishes and you're just the fucking champion. Speaking of basketball, my Lakers just beat the fucking
tournament.
They just beat fucking Golden State, baby.
Yeah.
And Golden State, I think they're playing today or they played already
last night against Memphis.
Yeah, they lose.
They lost.
So they're out.
So
they're not even a fucking thing.
The first 8th seed team to be eliminated by a 9th seed team for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Never happened. Just because playing's so new, right?
Quickly, you think they're gonna disrupt that fucking dream team over there? That old fucking dream team?
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
I think LeBron. I don't say he's rushing back from his injury, but I don't think because he's like 36 now.
No, I'm not talking about LeBron. I'm talking about Curry and those guys. Do you think they're gonna split them up, Green and stuff?
Oh no.
You don't think so?
I think they're gonna try one more time with Clay.
Yeah, makes sense.
They're gonna try one more time with Clay. If shit goes south with Clay on, they're like, okay, now we gotta fucking
fuck it,
refresh this whole team.
Yeah, the biggest person in the East being a problem, I see Giannis being a problem, and I see Nets being a problem.
76ers.
They don't have
really
enough depth.
You don't think so?
I don't think they have enough experience as far as like guys like the Lakers and stuff. They don't have enough experience for that, and I don't think that
because I think the 76ers have playoff experience.
They do have playoff experience. They don't have enough player experience. Like who do they have? Ben Simmons, Embiid. Okay,
yeah.
Embiid's a crybaby. He's been crying for 3 years straight. But
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? You don't cry, bro.
He was in MVP contention this year.
Okay, but you don't cry though. Like that's not like a mentality you can have.
What do you mean?
You cry when you win.
Jordan cried, man.
Okay, when he won, not when he lost.
He may have actually cried when he lost.
No, he didn't. There's no. I watched the whole fucking documentary. It was no fucking crying when I lost. It was anger when I lost. So of redemption and win. That's how alpha people do it. As much as that seems like it's toxic nowadays. That's the mentality. You don't cry on losses. You cry on wins of happy tears. That's what it is. I'm like that. I don't cry in losses. I cry in wins. That's why I haven't fucking cried in a long time. There's no wins. So that being said, I think it's gonna be Nets. Nets are gonna take Giannis.
Nets is weird because they have a lot of player experience, but them as a team have zero fucking playoff experience.
Yeah,
so I think now it just remains.
That might be their downfall, but they have so many guys, man.
No, it is by far on paper the team to beat.
Yeah,
in the league. Like, there's no fucking chance. Like, you're talking about three big time players.
Big time. Like they're all in their prime.
Like, some of these guys are going to be talked about as all-time greats, and Kevin Durant and Harden. If Harden continues what he's doing.
Kyrie has a movie that I watched.
All of them are...
Uncle Drew.
Oh, my God.
How dare you?
All of them?
Uncle fucking Drew.
All of these guys are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers.
How you doing, young blood?
All of them.
All of them.
And that's crazy to have in a team right now.
You think Harden's going to go bald?
Maybe.
I think so. I think Durant is...
No, Durant has been documented already. Like, for the last few years.
He's gone.
Yeah.
We're not going to get him back.
That's okay.
See Durant. Kyrie's got a full set of hair.
Kyrie's, doing great.
Anthony Davis got a full set of fucking hair. He's got a beautiful fucking unibrow as well. Shout out to my unibrow kings out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of you, but you know.
Yeah, but you're not, because you're a fake king.
I'm a fake king. Yeah, that's right. Fake kings. I'm a martyr,
fake kings.
Man. So that being said, I think it's going to be Lake Show, because I think that It's going to be Lakers and Nets because of this.
I think second round
1 to 4
Mhm.
is inflated on the West.
Interesting. Okay.
Because like isn't Phoenix like 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's look this
Utah.
up.
No, it's Utah, Phoenix, Denver, I think, and then Clippers.
Okay, Western Conference. You got Utah,
Denver,
Suns,
yeah, I was right.
Nuggets,
Yeah.
Clippers. Clippers are dangerous. Nuggets suck my dick.
Shut up, man.
Who?
The Joker, bro.
Joven? Fucking Serbia?
MVP.
Maybe.
MVP.
But he's not enough on his own. That's the problem. He needs
It's
like
true.
a 2 and a 3.
But he's got a 2 and a 3. It's just
Who?
whether they perform or not.
Who?
What's this boy? Couldn't stop shooting threes last.
Come on, baby.
On the.
Come on, baby.
Come on, man. I don't memorize
Come on,
his
baby.
name. He's Canadian. The 3 shooter.
Wiggins?
No, Wiggins is on the
I know.
Golden State.
I'm trying to fuck with you.
Yeah, I know you are. Do you know his name?
I don't fucking care. Listen, all I'm going to say is Jazz got dick. They don't have shit.
They got a great fucking team, man.
Okay, they got a good
Like,
chemistry,
team.
but they're going to break like okay, this is the thing.
Gobert.
This is the thing. When you have a great chemistry, that's all dandy. But playoff ball is different than regular ball.
Sure.
With a great chemistry, you can get far in regular ball. Regular season, you can get far.
Mm-hmm.
Look at 1 to 3. Those guys got far. But in playoff ball, you're going to have LeBron, you're going to have Anthony Davis, and you're going to have a deep LA bench. LA bench is actually fairly deep.
It's not that deep.
It's deeper than 1 to 4.
They lost Rondo. They lost.
Rondo was
No, he's a great bench player.
okay,
great
but
bench player.
he only had 1 season in him.
Yeah, but playoffs are different. You could just rest your guy.
Okay, but he only
Because
really had
playoff Rondo's a fucking beast. We saw that last year.
fine, but
we
it's
saw that.
space and money that they hit him, and that year he had enough space and money for that. But after that, I don't agree with Rondo being on the team. That regardless, they had a better point guard, the guy with the fucking blonde shit and is the black guy with the blonde shit. I forgot his name, but he came from Atlanta, and now they have it on Lakers now. Anyway, long story short, I think that when you don't have a guy that can defend Anthony Davis if he stays healthy and LeBron, you really don't have anybody that can guard LeBron in the league. Maybe
Healthy LeBron.
Healthy LeBron.
Healthy LeBron.
Maybe Kevin Durant, but I don't think LeBron came back early from the injury. I don't think he came back early,
but I think there's a limit to at his age how much he can recover.
I think he's on sauce. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
So I think
But you can't sauce your ligaments. You can
you
sauce
can GH
them.
your ligaments.
Can you actually?
What are you saying?
All right,
of
cool.
course, you can stem cell the shit out of your ligaments too.
Yeah, but
That's
like,
not even illegal.
there's limits to that too.
There is no limits to that
Yeah, no,
because
'cause
I'll
ligaments-
tell you a fucking quick story, okay? Mel Gibson's dad was 94 years old, sitting in a fucking wheelchair. Now he's 103 years old, fucking partying with a 66-year-old girlfriend. You tell me if that shit doesn't work out, okay?
Okay, we're gonna ignore that for a lot of reasons, and we're gonna get deeper into the whole GH comp in another episode because that'll be really fun to do. But there's a difference. I'll make a quick point. There's a difference between ligament strength, which most people need, and obviously athletes need, and then ligament flexibility, which is totally different.
Flexibility can temporarily be changed. This is a fact.
Because that's totally because that the flexibility is way more important to the high level athletes than the strength is.
I think it's a combination of both. I'm not going to argue with that. All I'm saying is stem cells, these guys, this is a $1 billion industry. So stem cells are getting injected to these guys. And
hey,
I don't
that's
doubt
okay.
it.
And even if everyone is, awesome. But then there's a simple fact of these players with all of this, like you said, $1 million worth of stem cell investment and whatever. All of these guys still have a sport lifespan. These guys still have to. Father time waits for no man.
I know that.
And so these guys.
But it might wait for LeBron a couple more years.
Maybe that's
you know
no
what
one
I'm
fucking knows because
this
he's
is
in that
why
age.
I know. This is why I know. I know what you're saying. LeBron's never been, never had any big injuries, no breaks, no rips, no tears. He's been really good.
To be
about
fair,
that.
his injury now has just been ankle.
So it's tiny.
But it was weird because did you see it was the other way, not the normal way.
Yeah. So there's a problem being 6'8" and being fucking lanky as shit.
Yeah.
Right. Even LeBron, as thick as he is in person, he's actually like basketball players in general public are actually skinny as fuck. Like whether you're Shaq, even Shaq in his prime, in person,
You
he
mean
wasn't.
Orlando Prime?
Yeah, he
not
wasn't.
L.A. Prime.
Even LA Prime, he
Come
wasn't.
on.
No, hold on. This is my point. He's not like NFL big. He's not like rugby big. He is big among basketball players. He's not UFC big. He's not like
Look
what
up,
I'm saying
look
is
up
this.
2003 Shaq.
I've seen it. My point is this. He is the biggest in
Oh,
the
yeah,
NBA,
yeah.
but by a margin of a lot in the NBA. But J.R. Smith has 14-inch arms. There's a reason. Like, these guys aren't trying to get huge.
No, yes, 100%.
So
yeah.
one of LeBron's downfall is that he is big. But I think one factor that we are missing is I don't think we've ever seen a guy like LeBron in the NBA, period. The guy like LeBron, I mean, his numbers, his peak, he's still in his peak. This is the thing. He's not 2006 versus Detroit Pistons peak, but he's still, I believe, in my truest of truest hearts, if you wake me up at 4 a.m. after a long fuck session, I will tell you LeBron will be good this year. Okay?
We will see.
Pride.
We will see. I predict first or second round exit for the Lakers.
First or second round?
Second round at best.
You want to bet 20?
Because they are now
20?
Are they the 8th seed?
They're 7th seed. So
they're
they're going against Suns.
The Suns. Ooh,
Okay,
yeah,
hold on.
I think they get past the Suns.
Okay,
but then after that, they'd be going against 4th and 5th, right?
Okay, Clips are going to take Nugs. Let's be honest here.
Ooh, that's a good match.
So one versus 8, Grizzlies and Jazz. I say Jazz come out. Suns versus Lakers. I say Lakers come out. Nugs versus Trailblazers. I say Nugs come out. Actually, Trailblazers are kind of deep. They're kind of deep.
I don't know about
now.
deep, but I know again, good team.
Good team.
Really good team.
Mavericks and Clippers. As much as I want my Serbian brother over there to do some damage, I think
Clippers
fucking robotic fucking Mike Tyson over there fucking is what's his fucking name?
Kawhi?
Kawhi is gonna fucking come out with this fucking garbage ass laugh.
Yeah.
So after that, we got Jazz, we got Lakers, we got Trailblazers, and we got Clips. And it's gonna be Clips versus Jazz and Lakers versus Trailblazers. And I think Lakers are gonna go past that for sure. And then it's gonna be Clips versus Lakes. And I think hopefully if Lakers are smart, they'll get a guy to just go fucking shoulder into Kawhi's knee, and Paul George can suck my balls. Now, as far as Eastern Conference, okay? Let's go to the Eastern Conference. Sorry about that. Yeah. Eastern Conference. Now, this is a lot more boring, okay? This is way more boring, okay? So 76ers versus Wizards. 76ers. Celtics versus Nets. Nets.
Yeah.
Heat versus Bucks. And who gives a fuck about...
that'll be interesting. I don't know how clear cut that is.
Heat versus Bucks? Who's gonna guard Giannis?
What did they do last year, bro? Did Giannis make it to the finals?
No, but he beat Heat.
No, they didn't. The Heat made it to the finals, you motherfucker.
Oh yeah, you're right. But I don't give a fuck about the Hawks and Knicks. That's what I know.
Yeah, fair enough. I wonder because the Heat's a question mark there because so much of their team got gutted with injuries at the end of that fucking playoff run last year. Man, it was a fucking shame. Because I think if they had a full healthy squad, that would have been a really cool series to watch.
Yeah.
That would have been really fun.
Speaking of getting gutted, I saw today, we both saw the heart and soul of the is it featherweight? 135s? Anyway, 135s. Bantamweights. The heart and soul of the bantamweights today.
Still got a heart.
Has to retire.
Still has a heart, though.
I don't give a fuck.
Got a big heart.
We're
talking about Cody Garbrandt.
Cody motherfucking Garbrandt. My boy met Cody.
Yeah?
Yeah, my boy, he actually went and trained Alpha Male for 6 months.
Really?
Yeah. My boy's from SFU 2012 grad. He's a SFU assistant coach for the wrestling team.
Oh, yeah.
And he's an alumni, and I think he placed 12th or 13th national.
Did he go there to train or as a trainer at Alpha Male?
He went there, I think, to train.
Oh, okay.
Just to train.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said he rolled with Cody. Cody is actually
He rolled with Cody?
Yeah,
Nice.
Cody's actually
That's cool.
he's a high school state champion.
Yep, in wrestling. Yeah, and he's legit. He's very legit. I remember watching one of his like.
He has no ground submission game, but
embeddeds.
he has very good takedown skills.
Very good.
When
also,
he's fresh.
He can also and we actually saw it in this fight still. He's got a very good ground defense in terms of getting back on his feet.
Yeah, but he also got stuffed so many times. I just think he's not used to actually like that Khabib mentality style. That takes a special person. Same with like the opposite side of the pole with like Israel Adesanya. It takes a certain skill to be calm and hit when you need to and not hit when you need to.
It's true. It's true.
What do you think's gonna happen with Cody? Retirement?
No, too early. None of these fucking fighters are smart, in the sense of knowing when it is time to actually.
How dare you bite your tongue, sir?
Tell me one smart. Tell me one small
Khabib.
smart. I don't know about smart, in the sense he just had nothing left to do.
That's the smartest thing. John Jones.
John Jones is not smart.
John Jones super smart.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
How's he
He
smart?
beat everybody in a fucking thing, and now he's gonna go into negotiations. Now Dana's trying to push him out and just show like advertisement. But for a guy who's like a president, it's really easy to portray a fact that you're pushing John Jones to the side, and you're gonna go with Ngannou and somebody else and this and this and this and this. But my point is like, okay, Ngannou with that fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, then what? Derek Lewis. After that, who else? Who else is left?
We'll see,
That's it.
but
It's the heavyweight.
Listen,
heavyweight's
fighters
shallow.
are not. They're just not. They have proven themselves not to be smart.
I think Khabib is actually very calculated, very smart.
I say fighters, like in general, man. If you're gonna talk about literally
general,
like
yeah, okay, general.
two of the all-time greats in the
Yeah.
sport, well, okay, fucking
Saint Pierre
whatever.
too. You could say that.
But yeah, we were talking about like very, very like these are like top echelon, like a fucking 0.01 percenters,
not even.
more than 0.01 then.
No, I think not even 0.01.
No, I'm saying because the guys that you mentioned are three
Yeah.
of the all-time greats in the sport, right?
Yeah.
So fighters are just generally not this smart. So they will generally fight way past they have to what they have to. They're coming back way too many times. They just don't do like fucking some of my boys, man. Like Cerrone, man. What the fuck is Macaroni Cerrone doing?
Macaroni Cerrone is a guy that you have to admire for his longevity. You have to admire and you have to look at this guy and say,
yeah, but no, man.
No, but it's easy for Hector, man. Listen. As a guy who you're logical, you're not logical as emotion because you're not considering that emotion, okay? You got to understand. You take your father.
Sure.
Put 30 years into something.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to steer away from it.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a different industry, man. Like these guys don't do this shit themselves.
I know that.
They have teams.
It's even harder for a team. Okay, a team dynamic is like this. You're paying a guy, and very few times in history have we seen a team take less.
But you
take
just
away.
You just proved my point though, because you talk about the emotional level. That's not what we're talking about.
No, I know that.
We're talking about smart. We're not talking about
I know
how
that.
it feels.
But you're
Listen,
telling me this. You're telling me why is Donald Cerrone still doing it? I'm telling you this. As far as a team dynamic goes, it's almost impossible to find a manager or a coach that will say, okay, I don't want to take money from you. You need to retire. There's very little of that going on. Like you could literally fucking count those. Another aspect of it, fighters aren't smart, period. The game of fighting isn't smart.
So you're disagreeing with my point, but so
I'm agreeing with your point.
what
I'm just saying is that these guys aren't like, they're not you. They're not taking. When you're in it, it's hard to say you want to come out.
Yeah, but listen, the point is, some of these guys, and this will say my boy, because some of these fighters, I really don't give a fuck about. If these guys want to punch themselves into fucking brain trauma, be my guest. But some of these guys
already have.
No, but like to the point where they can't fucking speak. I'm like, that's whatever. You do what you want to do. Yeah, he could never really speak, so whatever. But Cerrone, man, like this guy is taking like back to back to back L's against increasingly lesser competition. At a certain point, you got to be like, okay, I'm either gonna switch promotions here, or I'm gonna retire for good and get into like fucking. If I want to stay in this game, I'm gonna start training. I'm gonna start doing whatever.
The thing with switching promotions is like That's a death sentence in itself.
It's
You look at
already a death
Bader,
sentence.
you
You're
look at-
taking 4 L's
You're
in a
better.
row.
You're better off taking 10 L's.
The
than
only reason
going
that
to
you're still here in the
Bellator.
UFC is because you're held in such high regard with the
I'm not
organization.
disagreeing with you.
Anybody
I'm
else,
saying that it's hard. It's easier said for you to say these things,
but
than for you to be a fighter and say these.
no
things.
shits. That's the whole point of this conversation, man.
Yeah.
We're two guys who are not in the UFC. Of course, with the fucking if you're just gonna say that, we may as well just not talk about the UFC at
No,
all.
I listen. I completely agree with you. Like me as a guy, like I actually train, and I know I'd never want to fight because I've seen what it's like, and I've seen amateur guys. A couple of my buddies, like they talk different now, and they don't think the same. And I don't want that to happen to me. If I had a kid, I wouldn't say that. I would say train, but don't spar.
Yeah,
like
sure.
train, get better, don't spar. We have a buddy. I've talked to him in front of all of you guys, and I said, hey, listen, you're not a genetic outlier. You don't have the skills. Don't do it, man. You're gonna regret this later. Same thing with doing everything in a fucking exponential level as far as like anything can harm you like that, man, for sure.
No, I
And
know.
so if you're thinking logically, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna mild everything out. Steroids, girls,
Sure.
money, family, everything. But again, it's really hard to do that when you're in it. Like if you were Cerrone, I guarantee you'd be making the same mistake. Same if I was Cerrone.
Probably, but I'm saying these guys need to look after, and if not them, their teams or whatever. But anyways, whatever. We're fucking
The money's too good.
going
too.
off on a. I guess, man, it's not really that good for some of these guys though. It's just
I,
they
I
got,
would
like-
say
they
I
got,
would
like,
say the
nothing else.
smart thing would be if you see 4 losses back to back to back to back. Before that,
Mhm.
you get a little bit of fame. You get like on a 10-win winning streak like Cerrone did
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. Open a school.
Yeah.
Open a school, do it Eddie Bravo style, and then go from there. But
yeah.
really, like the long term is no good, man. It's no dice. You look at
No, I know.
you look at all these guys that have done it for too long, and you just see like, man, Garbrandt 3 years ago was in it to win it, and now he's obviously
Yeah,
out. Tony Ferguson,
this fight,
same
yeah,
thing.
it was not. This was not a-
Tyron, same thing. You know, it's a really
This was not a
easy
great
flip.
one for him. And Garbrandt's only what is he? 32 right now?
32, 33.
Yeah, right. 33. I think he might be. But yeah, he got picked apart by Font. He showed heart because in that 5th round he came back. He had some he started throwing punches and bunches, and started getting.
That was
some of his
I think
combos
that was
going.
more out of desperation.
Still it still looked okay. He had
Too
his
late.
he had his head movement the whole time.
Too
The only
little, too
problem is
late
he
type
just
of
couldn't.
thing.
I just couldn't make it work. He was just off this night.
Yeah.
And I
Speaking
don't know if
of
he's gonna get it back.
speaking of off, tell me about that hacking that happened to that pipeline. Why
pipeline.
these gas
So-
prices are ridiculous. Okay, let me give you a little background,
Sure.
guys. The States was like $2.50
Mm-hmm.
in California, which I lived in, which is the most expensive. When I used to live in California, it was like $4.
Mm-hmm,
So all these Americans are complaining about $5. Bitch, right now, okay, right now, Vancouver is $1.56.9, okay, times 3.75, because we could do math at this bitch. That's a gallon. So I'm paying $5.88 per gallon in Vancouver. Canadian. Now, that sounds terrible, blah, blah, blah. Canadian money is garbage. Fuck the queen. I get it. I'm in. But it still is terrible because I'm making X amount of dollars. I'm making them Canadian. So it's the same. It doesn't fucking matter. You get less bang for your buck in Canada. And I want to hear the inside scoop that you told me your cousin gave you from Colombia with a typewriter and a pigeon. Tell me about that.
Motherfucker. So what happened a few weeks ago was that one of the main pipelines on the eastern seaboard in the States is supplied by this company called, I think it's Stallion, and they got hacked by ransomware.
Yeah.
And so it basically shut down the pipeline,
Continue. I got to go take a
and
quick
it
piss.
and
I'm
it killed
listening.
the entire supply of the eastern states, and it started affecting the western states a bit, but it was mainly the eastern states. And all these guys, they had their supply shut to zero. So people went on a fucking binge and started hoarding gas. They started buying. You saw fucking images of people like taking laundry baskets, putting them in their car, and then using that to fill up their gas. Like these guys went on a fucking like it was worse than Corona here with like the toilet paper, where people buying like fucking 20 rolls times 5 for like 2 people. they were buying gas everywhere and anywhere that they could over there in the eastern seaboard, because supply was shut. So it was just fucking crazy. The prices were going through the roof. Lineups, all around the block, and I think it's now been solved. Like they fixed it, and they're trying to regulate prices now so it doesn't shoot up again like crazy. But for a time there, the prices were skyrocketing. There was no supply around, and it was basically all due to this ransomware attack that people were speculating were from the Russians, but it wasn't from the Russians. It was just this one company that specializes in ransomware attacks. And this pipeline company got hit, and it just so happens that it was like the largest pipeline on the eastern seaboard.
So what's the outcome that's going to come from this in the future? What are we thinking?
What's interesting is that people aren't sure if this ransomware attack was on purpose. Like, they think it might have been an accident.
Well, right now, I mean, you got to take everything with, much caution and think of it.
Sure.
Everything's examined and calculated. All these attacks, as far as like, post-corona ideology is going to be way different if you're smart.
Yeah.
So I would say like 100% this was scheduled. 100% this was thing, because these Arabs and shit, they're losing money, man. If fucking this shit doesn't cost enough money, they're losing money over there. They
maybe I don't know.
And Arabs and stuff, they want their Lambos and they want their cheetahs and they want their fucking platinum gold fucking earrings and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this is going to continue. I think eventually this is why all these car manufacturers are coming up with electric vehicles.
I mean, yes, but no.
What do you mean, no?
So because some Arabs want Lambos and they want to
no.
get five-star hookers.
I think 5-star hookers, please. They get like fucking Jennifer Aniston in her prime. Listen, Megan Fox was over there sucking dick.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Let me tell you something, man. It's not the Arabs. It's the forecast, I think. The car companies are not dumb. They have ideas of what the forecast is going to be like.
Sure.
So I think their ideas of how they're going to manage their fleets are based on a specific forecast. They're not going to throw away billions in engineering and design over some hocus pocus bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my mom told me, but no, bitch. It's like they know they're interconnected. A lot of these elites are interconnected. And I think the word on the street is, oil is going to be shit. Fracking is fucking going to a halt. All these things are Alberta is no longer like a money source. People used to be like, oh, you drop out of high school, go to Alberta, make money, $5,000 every 2 weeks. I did that. And it wasn't, before I started dealing drugs, midway through drugs, I was like, let me go do that and have some money for my tax. So I could have like legitimate fucking tax money instead of fucking cash. But my point is like, there's problems with the engineering base, and I want to go into this because we talked about this. Okay,
sure.
So we have that what was that? The Volvo or whatever the fuck? What was it called?
I don't know. You said something with QC something.
Yeah, tell me about that. What was a Volvo
QC? I don't know. You're the one who brought this up. I think it's
90,
QC,
right?
QC 90. I don't know.
Yes. So the QC90.
The XC90.
Sorry, XC90. My bad.
SUV.
SUV.
Okay.
4-cylinder. 4 to 11 liters per 100 kilometers. Okay, my little shit car that I got for $1,000 doesn't do that, and it's a 4-cylinder inline, naturally aspirated.
Sure.
There's a reason. This car has fucking what's it called?
Turbo
and supercharger on a 4-cylinder. You ever heard of that before? I never fucking heard that ever before.
Not the superchargers. I know Ford's been doing the EcoBoost for a long time now, which is
baloney.
No, it's not. All it is just a turbocharged 4-cylinder.
Yeah, but it's not like longevity. It's not these things. We talked about this, right? Longevity. It's not. It's too much on the engine.
So this is
wear and tear is there on every car.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, but no, because the turbo boosted engines that exist now are not the ones that existed 20 years ago.
Explain. Of course, but explain.
So before turbos were installed on cars from a mass produced kind of level, people were taking naturally aspirated engines that were designed to be naturally aspirated,
turboing them up,
and then sticking a turbo on and then tuning your car and then doing whatever. The problem with that is that you're taking an engine that is designed to be used a certain way, and basically the equivalent would be sticking roids on the engine, trying to boost what it can do to increase what
Bro,
it's doing.
I'd say that works great.
It works great if the thing that it's designed to take
Like
that
genetics.
exactly, if your genetics can handle it, or whatever, and in this case with the cars, if the engine can handle it. But if the engine is designed to be operated a certain way and you start fucking with that, that's when you run into that's when you start running into reliability issues. The difference here, especially with like something like the EcoBoost, is that it is designed from the factory, from Ford, through years of engineering and time, like research and development, to be able to handle this extra boost or load or whatever you want to call it for a certain lifespan. So if they're saying we want our engines to last X amount of years, they're going to say, okay, we're now going to design it so that if we operate it with the turbo, it is now going to handle that kind of service. So that's a difference versus like before you would take that similar size engine and then stick a turbo on it. And then now you're like, oh God, now I just reduced my engine's life cycle to like 3 or 5 years.
Yes and no. Turbos just generally, whether designed or not, you can't change gasket heads. You can't change that. As far as material, it's a certain material. Like they're not coming up with new material for gasket heads.
Yeah, first of all, yes, they are.
No, they are, but it's not something that we've never heard of. It's progression improvements because they have concept cars and they work towards the concept cars. Every year they go up and they go for the concept cars. Now, a turbo might be designed for it, and a turbo, you could actually make the argument that has a car that's turboed versus a car that has supercharger. The turbo is off the exhaust power, so it doesn't draw any power from the engine, so the car generally runs if it doesn't run super hot. So that means if you take care of your car, it doesn't run super hot, that it's damaging material and engine, it should not really affect longevity if you're not driving like an asshole. But a supercharger definitely takes away from longevity. This has been proven. So these are all nice and dandy, but once you go into the 10-year mark, you pay 90 grand, 100 grand for a Volvo. Volvos aren't known to be like newer Volvos, new age Volvos aren't known to have longevity. You don't see a 2012 Volvo still kicking ass these days. You don't see a 2012 Audi.
I mean, you don't see many Volvos in general.
You don't see many,
just in general,
many German or European engineered cars going the long route as far as anything. It's always the battery powered Japanese cars that are hybrids that you still see today. But even those, you can argue that the battery is no longer as good, which we talked about before with the Tesla, right? The thing with the Tesla, I have a question. We talked about this. What do you do with that battery after 15 years? Because your iPhone, right? After like 3 years,
yeah,
the efficiency on the phone is like fucking 77% battery fucking power. So what do you do with these? Like, you take it away from the air and you're fucking destroying land? Like, what's the deal?
I don't know. I remember when these things first came out, that was one of the questions that everyone had. It's like, okay, we have these these electric cars. These things have batteries in them. What the fuck do we do with batteries when they're dead? Do we just throw them away? Do we try and recycle it? Can we reuse some of this shit? With older batteries, the answer is no. You can't fucking reuse it because it's a chemical process that happens.
Right.
It can't be undone. Like, it's like you smoking right now. As soon as you're done smoking that, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna? You can't undo that. You can't put it back together the way that it was.
Imagine you could.
Smoke forever.
Reverse smoke.
Yeah.
Smoke from the
Smoke
air and
forever.
put it into the fucking.
So with a battery, some of the very basic traditional batteries from like a long time ago is a very, I don't want to get too technical because we're gonna lose.
Get technical, please.
We're gonna lose some of our viewers here, but
It's okay.
You talk about like the galvanic process.
Oof, that's too technical.
Yes, yeah. That's what I was like. Okay, basically what I can say is that for a battery to work, to make electricity, you're taking a chemical reaction for it to happen. So you take something from
That chemical reaction can only happen so many times before it.
And
can
what I'm
happen
saying is
as
you.
efficiently.
What I'm saying is you can't reverse it. You can't take it the other way around for you to like build the battery up
And
again.
there's a lifetime to that.
But this
reaction.
is the old school. In some of the new schools, there is a bit of evidence like rechargeable batteries are a thing. But
They're
again,
just not as efficient every time though. That's the thing.
and even with rechargeable batteries,
You lose charge.
there is a percent of that process that you can't get back. It's not 100%.
There's an efficiency percentage that you no longer can get back. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's just the efficiency. But what I'm saying is like when you reverse the process, you're not getting everything that
same.
you. Yeah, so
You lose some.
in a lot of chemical and thermal equations, you always lose shit to heat. You were talking about like heat efficiency.
Yeah,
You always-
absolutely.
You can't get heat back. Like
No,
that's something
no, you
that's just a
can't.
loss.
Yeah.
So even if you could reverse the equation, you always lose that, and that's gone.
Product loss. Yeah.
So anyways, with
Oof. Take a nice little dimple, little Asian boobie. Oh, not too big, but not too small either.
I like me an Asian booby.
Booty or booby?
Both actually.
Yes. Not if
Uh,
they're too dark though.
We'll get into that another day.
What if there's a hair on one, like a Manchu fucking?
Let's just stay on topic here. So yeah, so the question everybody had was like, what the fuck do we do with these batteries?
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned earlier, they're big fucking batteries.
They're huge, man.
Like we're
They're
talking
like
about
engine size.
Think about how big a battery is on your phone. Like of your phone,
Basically,
how much you think you're okay? This
if I had to say as far as calculation wise, like a formula for this,
Yeah.
if you have an object you're trying to power,
Mhm.
these batteries are usually 2/3 the size to half.
yes and no. That's gonna be the theme for this podcast. Yes and no.
If it's gas powered, no. But I'm talking about like a Tesla.
I know what you're talking about,
Tesla
but what I'm
battery
saying is, like,
is literally half the size of a Tesla.
There's something that is energy density, and as that gets increased with innovation and engineering, you can start making that shit smaller.
But we're not there yet.
Well, we're kind of there yet now because before
Well, you can't have a battery this fucking cup size.
to get the performance out of what we're getting right now out of Teslas, it would have been literally impossible 20 years ago.
Impossible.
With the battery tech that existed.
That's
back
why
then.
Elon is actually fucking. He's one of a kind, man.
Yeah,
in history.
Yeah, So of this phone right here, the battery is actually about like this much. It's like half. It's like half and half. It's a quarter. A quarter of this phone is battery.
And that's in 2021.
Yeah. So imagine apply that same formula to a car. That's a big fucking battery. Think of how big your car is. How much of that is
And
battery?
think about how many cars you have in a lifetime.
With Teslas, actually, the batteries are on the floor.
On the floor.
It's
yeah,
basically
bottom.
most of your floor that you step on is battery. So imagine, I mean, yeah, it may not be next year, it may not be 2 years from now, but eventually that shit will be dead for your use of like what you're doing. You're gonna have that battery will be dead. What the fuck do you do with that? Was what most people were asking.
I think Elon has to come back. I think he needs to get his dick sucked by that Amber Heard girl again.
Huh.
Okay.
Get into another lawsuit.
Get into another lawsuit, but fuck her ass this time, and
Christ, we're gonna get flight.
come up with an idea of how to recharge these batteries or take them apart and reuse.
I think the big one of the biggest innovations that's gonna happen in the next 50 years is gonna be if someone can develop an actual sustainable way of recycling batteries. That'll be fucking huge. That'll be huge. If someone could develop that, that's gonna like take whatever problems we're having now, eliminate them. That'd be fucking amazing.
All right, you hear to hear, guys. That's the idea of the fucking lifetime. I mean,
there.
Don't be chasing fucking lottery tickets. That's what 1 in 31 million or something.
Chase this shit instead.
Chase this shit, you fuck.
Yeah, if you
You're
could do
listening
that,
at home,
holy.
at your mom's house, you're sucking a nipple. You're thinking about how your dad's gonna give you some allowance. Think about this, you bitch. Think about how you are gonna go after this fucking rechargeable battery shit. How you are gonna fucking do this. Because if you spent 10 years on that shit, you might have nothing, but you might have something.
Yeah.
And that something
You gotta
is more
bank on that-
percentage
bank on
than
that
that
something.
fucking 649 lotto ticket. I'll tell you that. One thing I gotta ask you before you leave.
Sure.
When you look at a girl, okay, do you judge how she talks to her friend? Because this is some new innovation shit I've come up with. Because it's made sense. This is my ideology behind it. You see her truest form, not when she's with her parents, not when she's with you,
Sure.
but when she's with her friend. Like her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you really want to get to know a girl, isn't the best idea to meet her with her friend?
Yeah.
Because you see her truest form.
Okay, hold on. Well, we're just gonna extend this podcast by another half an hour. What does truest form mean to you? Because I actually don't think we're in agreement of what that means for each other.
Truest form can be dictated differently. Truest form is a meaning, but it can be applied in different scenarios.
You've heard of the mask theory, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll go into that, but I'll go into my own thing. I'll actually let you go into that, but I'll go into my own thing. My truest form that you've seen is what you have seen. Do you understand? What you have been there around. But I might have a different true form in a different scenario. And same with you and same with everybody else. So you can't really have the truest of true forms. Every situation is applied differently to true form. Now, that changes because of what? Because of the situation.
Yes.
That situation can change because I change based on the situation changing me, which gives me some type of mask or illusion or something in different scenarios and different things. Now, tell me about the mask theory. Tell everybody about that.
The basic mask theory is that we all have different masks depending on what situation we're in and which people we interact with. So you'll have a mask for your family. You'll have one for your friends. You'll have one for work. You'll have one for dating. That's the mask theory. That's like the basic one. But everyone kind of has a different opinion on just how deep each of those masks go and like how they interact with each other and all that stuff. I think we're actually kind of on the same opinion when it comes to this because you were mentioning depending on who you're around and who you're with and situation's going to change. So that's why I asked you because what I was going to say was there is no such thing as one true form.
That when I read about that, I'll tell you this. When I read about that mask shit, it kind of changed my mind because I thought you can catch someone at their truest, but I realized you can't.
Yeah, there's no because
I thought about myself and I'm
sure,
like,
of course, and I think there is no such thing as one true form.
No, there isn't.
We are a product of who we are around, what situations we face, and what experiences we go through in life.
Hold on, let me tell you something.
What?
You know what Bruce Lee said?
What, be like water?
Be like water.
Yeah, I know that.
That's exactly what that is.
I love Bruce Lee, man.
I fucking love Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
And
sorry.
so no, that's all good. That's a good one. So you, depending on who you interact with, the people that you interact with will bring different things out of you, naturally, not because you want to put up some kind of like mask or illusion to them, but they will naturally bring things out of you. So when you're with your girl, being with her will bring a different side of you out. It'll play into that.
Can you go back to the last topic and how it's chemical reactions?
Yeah.
And different people bring different chemicals out of you
Basically,
and different sides?
Yeah.
Boom.
So everyone that you're with.
Full circle, bitch, was Hector Zunic.
That was a good callback. When you are with different people, that will, especially in their eyes, they will see a different side of you.
Yep.
And what's cool actually is when you start mixing those sides. Mm-hmm. So if you got a group of friends that you act a certain way around because that's just how you feel natural with them. Yep. You feel that it's natural to act. Let's say for example, goofy and funny around them.
Last weekend we had a third guy. You've never seen me in front of him, and he's never seen me in front of you.
That's right. And
it was interesting.
That was his chance for. Yeah, exactly. And then my chance.
Yeah.
For sure. And then your chance to see how I interact with a stranger. Yeah. Exactly, right? So that's why I like hosting I like throwing bigger birthday parties because I like mixing my groups of people in that time so as much of an experiment for them as it is for me to see how I interact when I have all those different groups around me. So like my close boys, my friends from different organizations, friends from work, family, seeing how I interact when everyone's around. Because when it's just one group, then it's a certain way because that person is that way and we're just going to interact like that. But now when you throw the other way, the other groups around and all of a sudden these different influences, how does that actually all come together and how do I express myself? I think is a really cool thought experiment to do.
What's the best way you thrive? Because I've seen you in different applications, in different situations, in different people, circumstances. High school, your birthday, funeral, Vic's place,
sure,
shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen you in different applications. Now I haven't seen you in front of your parents. I think you'd probably be more, tight and because you're around your fucking parents, right? And
what do you mean by tight? You mean like reserved?
I would say so. Yeah, yeah. I would
Actually,
say
opposite. Actually,
no, not with your parents. But if I walked down the street and I saw you with your parents,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be like, yo, what's up? You fucking
oh sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You'd be much more like polite in front of them, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it's
sure.
just the culture is
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
to be
yeah, okay. I see
respectful.
what you're saying.
You're not
Okay.
cussing around your mom. Like it's just
Yeah, no.
common
I
sense.
understand what you're saying.
But with them, of course, you've known them. You're the moment you open your eyes, right? So yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, what do you feel? Because I'm not with you. I don't wake up with you. I don't sleep with you.
Yeah.
And
Yet.
you know, no homo, but might happen. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
2022, baby. Trump 2024. Let's get it done. So that aside, what do you feel is the best version of you? Like, what do you
That's a very interesting
because
question.
it speaks on who you hang out with. But what I'm saying is like it might be a time, a place, a thing that you feel most comfortable, most exact. Fuck the word, man. Fuck that word.
Exuberant? What are you trying to say?
Exaverant. Fuck. We got to go through it, man. We got to go through it. We got to get it done. Extravagant or something.
Extravagant?
Extravagant.
Oh,
there
yeah,
you go.
yeah, good
Thank
job.
you. The weed.
Yeah.
And the IQ. So yeah, what do you think that is? Like, where do you think that is? Like, instead of describing the people, tell me why that is. Why are they the why did they bring that out of you? If that's the case.
No.
Whether that is the case.
I actually
or
really
not.
like this question. This is a very, I like these introspective questions quite a bit.
I like it because I'm on the hunt when we do these podcasts. I don't want to forget that question. I want you to keep that question close.
I got it.
But it's a chance for me, as dumb as it sounds, is to show how weed is interesting. Weed makes you think of things that you wouldn't think naturally. Now that is one of them. Like, I'm baked to shit. I'm gonna start talking about stuff that has more to do with feelings. At a certain point in this podcast, you just saw sober and then high.
Yeah,
right. That's why I like to go into these and like really think about that. Even though you don't think I think about this shit, I actually do, because this is my world. You know what I mean?
Sure.
All I had was time to talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I think I've actually been through it a couple times now, enough times to actually know what situations I have thrived in. There are some modifications I would make to them to make it even better for myself personally. But I can say that there have been a handful, because I can say up to like 5 maybe, a handful of times where I have felt like I am truly thriving. And those have been the moments that I've been with like-minded people, and we are actually giving back. We are putting together opportunities for people to grow within themselves. So I've been a member, well, I'm not currently like active, but I've been a member of this organization called Rotary. And so they do these like adult camps. And it basically gets you to really understand yourself and how with other people you can make like a true impact on the world. And so these group of people that I met are like amazing. Like, they're great people. Like, you meet these people and like you spend some time with them and you're like, holy shit, like there's like true like good in this world. What's interesting for me is that I've noticed that I've been my best in that, and I've thrived the most in those situations because I've allowed myself to let go of basically every ego trap that I've had, every bout of nervousness and anxiety and self-doubt does not exist when I'm with these people in this specific situation. The only funny part of this whole thing is that the only way that I would have made it slightly better is that in these situations, these are all like what you would consider like good people, right? People that play by the rules, that play down the lines and stuff. And so
Dweebs, geeks, we get it. Yeah.
No, not really, because they're not. You wouldn't describe them like that. But the only thing I'm gonna say is that all the non-PC shit that we discuss and we talk about and how we act, that shit would not fly with these people.
What do you mean?
Like, fucking
Give me two things.
can't be cussing the way we do, talking about homosexuals the way that we do, all the shit, all that whole like bro mentality, the fucking all that shit. Saying, I mean,
you think it's toxic? I think it's natural.
okay, I don't think it's natural.
You
for
don't
you
think,
it is. For you it is. Okay, I think you can say that if it's natural, if you feel that it's natural for you, fair enough. But I don't think you can just like make a blanket statement and say like, oh, it's just natural.
No,
I'm
saying not across the board. I can just speak on how I feel.
I know if you feel it's natural for you, totally. I'm not talking about you. But what I'm saying is that kind of talk that I actually do enjoy doing from time to time would not fly there, and so I don't do it. Because I'm influenced by how they are, so I just have no reason to like just start talking like that. It would make no fucking sense.
Do you think that's good that you're influenced by everything that they are, or is it better to be partially influenced by some things that they do?
By most of what they do for sure.
But some things you wouldn't.
Yeah, sure. Because I remember I got into that world, not really being what most of these people are already. Like most of these people were already involved in a life of like charity work, giving back, philanthropic leadership in their community, involved in these kind of things.
Is there a over across the board kind of thing with these people?
You mean something that they share?
As far as why they're in it?
No.
Is there something that happened?
No, actually, because it was all actually kind of random, which actually makes it even cooler. Some of these people, were part of a specific organization, so they all obviously met each other through there and got through there. But some of these people, like me, it was just like a random thing. Or like for me, it was just because my parents were involved.
Is there any convicts?
Comics? Convicts. There may have been. I didn't actually ask for some of the people. I
wonder.
There were like well over, at the first camp that I went, well over 120 people there, but I only got to really, really know like maybe 20 of them, I'd say. I got to know everybody. But deeply, probably like 20.
That's interesting. One thing to me is that you can go into that kind of setting and feel comfortable, which is odd.
It doesn't. For almost everybody there, it does not feel comfortable to begin with. It feels extremely fucking awkward. It feels foreign, and it feels untenable. This is not like a natural thing. But the longer you stay there, the more that you get accustomed to it, and the more that you start the more that you can start letting go of the tension in you and the resistance that you feel to this, the more you get out of this kind of experience.
One thing I have to ask is, have you ever been? You might not be able to even answer this. You're part of a religious group.
Yeah.
I think you're on the outskirts, based on talking to you and knowing you for a little bit. But would you describe what that is as a cult?
No.
No, I'm talking about religion.
Oh, the religion?
Could be.
No,
if you're looking at it.
The thing is like
not the bad parts of a cult.
The thing is like we don't have to talk about it because you can just look up what a cult is, and so you just go through. There's like definitions to it, so you kind of just.
I think it's too big to be a cult, but I think it has cultish qualities, and this sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would put away my ego for a day and go there, to see what's going on.
Yeah,
just to see. You know, you always learn from something, whether you join it or not. I'm not saying I'm to do it every Saturday, but I'll see what it is. I'll check it out. Give it a chance. And it's interesting if it has any cultish qualities, because the numbers, I don't know what the numbers are, but if it's around 100, it could very well be a cultish quality. And I wonder if how you describe it is interesting to me, because there's so many positive things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the fucking door in the fucking wall. You know what I mean? The
chink in the armor.
Exactly.
So what's funny is I remember a lot of us actually described the whole thing as because I never really want to give too much. This is the other like cultish quality. You never really want to give too much away, and that's like so culty, because most cults do that. They're like, like talk about the secret sauce and shit. But I remember a few of us described it as a cult, thinking it was a cult at the beginning. We're like, what the fuck is this? Like, everyone's like-minded, talk about the same shit.
Is someone like on the screen in the background?
No. There's no like singular like fucking leader or whatever to like point to, and like no. So it's not like that. But
so it's a cult with no singular leader.
What was culty about it is the group mentality aspect of it. the one thing that every cult will have is that they are unified in their vision for the entire group. There's no dissent. A cult has no dissent. That's one
Bunch of crazy motherfuckers.
That's one of the main points of every single cult in human history is there's no dissent.
Yeah.
You can't have dissent and have a cult.
This is why I wanted to have sunglasses.
yeah. I knew that I was gonna say it. I knew that was actually the reason at the beginning. I just forgot to say that. But yeah, so that's the one thing.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it that way, you're like, oh, maybe. But then, yeah, it's definitely not. But it's definitely one of my.
Would you recommend it to a 19-year-old girl?
I'd recommend it to every single person between the ages of 18 to 30. The only reason I say those numbers specifically is that that's like the age cutoffs for this place.
So we got to get it in one time.
What do you mean?
We got to go there one time.
I can't go again.
Why?
You can only go once.
What the fuck? So it can't be a cult.
No. I know it's not a cult.
That's. See,
there you go, bitches.
That's the fucking thing.
There's the seed.
We caught it.
There's the seed.
We caught it right there. You know, it's a one-time deal.
Yeah.
It's
you
a
can
bang
actually,
and go. It's a one-night shot.
You're technically
better
allowed to
wear
go
your condom.
more than once, but not as a participant. You can go there as like staff, like to like help organize the kind of stuff. You can go a couple more times, but in terms of you having the experience, you can only do it once.
So let me break this down for the average bitch sitting at home listening to this shit. So basically, Hector lost his virginity to some fucking event, okay? And he can never fuck that chick again, okay? Ladies, you get that magic stick dick, okay? This guy comes over, one pump, you dump, you're in awe, like this motherfucker's like Jesus or something walking on water. And then suddenly you never see this motherfucker again, and you don't hear anything but good shit from this motherfucker. You could maybe walk by him sometime, but you can never go up to him, you know. And that's how Hector fucking feels right now.
That's the way,
right? Give me some last thoughts, baby. Give me some last thoughts. Give me some positivity. Give me some hope.
Give me some hope.
Yeah, man. Give me some hope. Give me some good news.
I think we're in for a really good week, actually.
Damn fucking straight.
I think we are. I think we're. Like I said, the Tuesday news, everyone's going to be thinking about that because if that shit, you heard it here first on this podcast on Funny But Foul.
This fucking podcast.
But if Tuesday's a thing, then I think it's only going to kind of slow, not a quick roll. I don't think like fucking all of a sudden we're going to have Coachella in Vancouver.
No, but you can get a quarter chub. Okay.
But yeah, I think things will slowly roll open, and I think we're in a good place to things to actually start feeling better overall. Yep. We're going to have I think we're in for a really good summer. And I think with all that said, I think we should all just take that time to like have that like in our mindset to embrace a bit of positivity this fucking year. It's been tough.
This has been a tough go. Absolutely.
But I think we should allow ourselves to feel good. There's no reason to punish yourself. Like
I think you're right.
Right.
I think 100% once it's open, you're completely right. Like that idea that you think that, you know, slow but gradual.
Yes.
Logical.
Yeah.
Okay. That's completely right. But as far as sexual, let's bring it down a notch. You know what I'm saying?
Motherfucker.
Get it real sexual.
Sure.
And when you go sexual, right, you got to think of it as a third eye. Okay? You got to think of it as a third eye. Because of this fucking reason right here. And it's because that when you do make it sexual, you come out with enjoyment. And this enjoyment is when you just fucking do it. This summer is just fuck summer, okay? 2021. If you're ever listening to this, just say yes. Suck his dick. Fucking liquor pussy, bro. Just fucking do it. Just have a good fucking summer, you know? Because time is something we'll never get back. Just like this energy shit we're talking about, right, Hector?
Mm-hmm.
We never get it back. It's got a lifetime, and so do we.
It's a one-way street.
It's a one-way fucking street down to hell. Okay? And you just got to enjoy it on the ride there, baby. Take care of yourself, Funny But Foul.
Make sure
share, subscribe.
Like and subscribe us on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify and all the other major podcasts.
Instagram, all that. Twitter coming out. Apple Music. We emailed them, right?
It's on its way.
It's on its way. You know, Steve Jobs. Get back to me, boy.